whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, I am willing to know the whole truth. Patrick Henry. Since the winter solstice of 2012, we have been in a new age. Not the much vaunted Aquarian age, though. In 2012, we passed from the galactic age of Pisces into the new galactic age of Aries. Galactic ages are long-term things, dividing the 25,772 year-long precession of the equinoxes into 12 equal segments. So passing from one to the other is not quick. It involves a series of yearly conjunctions between our Sun and the galactic center. 12 conjunctions built to a peak in 2012. Then they declined in 12 stages, ending at the winter solstice of 2024. Consequently, we are now fully in the new age of Aries. That was emphasized when our Sun became square to the galactic solar center as it entered Aries at the spring equinox on the 20th of March 2025. A lot is going to happen in Aries this year. On the 29th of March, there was a solar eclipse in Aries. Then on the 30th of March, Neptune, having finished his work in Pisces, moved into Aries. He will be followed by Saturn on the 25th of May. Shortly after that, on the 27th of May, Chiron, planet of healing truth, will fully conjunct Eris, gatekeeper of Aries, at around 25.5 degrees of Aries, while Saturn and Neptune conjunct the throne of Eris. I think that very significant things will occur in the run-up to that time. There will be a lot of disclosure of hidden truth. That is not what this video is about, however. This video is about what I see as a key issue related to the new age of Aries, our salvation from a spirit of domination. Recently, I had a deep insight into power. I used to see power as somewhat of a dirty word because those who desire power often abuse it by practicing the power ethic, the idea that might makes right. Hence the saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Then last year, I made an advancement in vital astrology, which enabled me to realize that real power is never corrupt. It is actually nothing but good. It is fake power that is corrupt, because it is based upon what I call a spirit of domination. Fake power is in fact weakness so profound that it imagines itself strong because it can get things it erroneously imagines it wants, yet doesn't really desire those things in its heart and neglects its real fulfillment to get them. Real power is a form of love. It is a soul's expression of love in various creative ways. To paraphrase Dr. Arthur Janov's definition of love, it is giving beings what they need to be their real selves. That also applies to oneself because our real needs never clash with the real needs of others. The Aries form of love is about personal empowerment. It is the power to assert ourselves in creative, loving ways. When we do that, we are free to create a real loving reality and help afford others the opportunity to own their own real power. Reality is always real. However, whether we experience our reality as real or unreal is a matter of perception. So how real or unreal our reality seems depends on whether we have realized sufficient truths to see it clearly or not. A spirit of domination seeks to control and dominate its world based upon an argument with reality. It fears the healing truths that would resolve the argument because it fears the pain that has resulted from past arguments. Thus it argues, and in that way arguments upon arguments build up, causing pain and suffering upon pain and suffering. Only when one gives up arguing and actually appreciates one's reality can healing truth be acknowledged. Only realized truth enables one to feel and align with the real desires of one's heart. Only alignment with one's real desires gets one's real desires fulfilled, because real creative will unfailingly serves one's fulfillment. Aries inherits its empowerment from Pisces. Pisces is the sign that enables us to feel into our hearts and know how to choose a love-based reality. Via the gatekeeper of Pisces, Neptune, planet of deeper, less conditional love, Pluto, and many other trans-Neptunian planets that also have their thrones in Pisces, a greater ability to feel the joyous fulfillment of love in our hearts is realized. Thus we become more caring, empathic, and compassionate, and realize that we are all aspects of the one life, a deeply loving spiritual family. A major manifestation of Piscean development during the recent age of galactic Pisces has been the Christian religion. However, humanity has been exploring the spirit of domination for thousands of years. We have plumbed the depths of pain and suffering during that time by choosing to argue with reality. It has been a time of developing the ability to think for ourselves by competing with other intellects for fake power. Even though the recent Piscean age has been a healing age where a lot of the accumulated pain and suffering has been resolved, there is still a legacy of unreality left in the collective human consciousness. Although most religions are based upon loving spiritual understandings, humans lost in the confusion of domination have tended to pervert those understandings with their unreality. Right from the start, the teachings of Jesus were corrupted by an agent of domination. Christianity was not entirely spoilt by said corruption, but it was heavily handicapped by the built-in spirit of domination. Now, as we step into the new age of Aries, the mists that obscure the whole truth are clearing. A major function of Neptune is to challenge us to clear away the mists of our confusion. As he finished his work in Pisces, many foggy remnants of unreality were cleared, revealing evidence of the true teachings of Jesus. Said evidence reveals teachings that have no contamination. Unlike many mainstream ideas about what it means to be a follower of Jesus, these teachings are completely loving. They also suggest to me that Jesus was amazingly proficient at a form of therapy that emerged in the 1960s, whilst Pluto was in the other healing sign opposite Pisces, Virgo. This truly healing therapy, primal therapy, was discovered by Dr. Arthur Janov. As we fully step into the new age of Aries, the mists have cleared in all areas of human expression. To use a much employed metaphor from the Matrix movie, people are red-pilled to the machinations of those who are zealously dedicated to domination. Many people are at least aware of significant manifestations of domination that formerly were hidden. And even if they have not plumbed the realization of how humanity is being dominated to its depths, they are becoming more aware. Now, many red-pilled people are concluding that the solution to being dominated is to return to the teachings of Jesus. I agree with that, if one means the real teachings of Jesus. However, Christianity does not have a monopoly on true spirituality. The real teachings of Jesus are a powerful way to free oneself from an addiction to the spirit of domination, a way that was particularly suited to the Piscean age. Any path that dedicates one to real love is truly spiritual, and thus frees one from enslavement to the spirit of domination. To the extent that one is addicted to a spirit of domination, one has an unreal perception of reality. Reacting to an unreal perception, one comes up with unreal solutions that don't work and only deepen one's pain and suffering. Basically, such solutions always involve some form of domination. At the same time, however, one is oblivious to how much better one would appreciate one's reality if one stopped arguing with it. Arguing with what is real, one is numb to the joy, peace, and harmony that could be attained if one chose to see reality as a constant blessing and follow that thread to the truth. As long as one has a certain level of addiction, one is in a game of domination with all those who are equally or more addicted. It is a game that cannot be won. The result of dominating others within the game is a booby prize, pain, suffering, and enslavement to the game. It is a game where everyone is a loser, and those who seem to win more are the biggest losers. All this is because a spirit of domination is antithetical to the truth. The only way to win is to walk away. When one does that, life provides, and one can assert oneself effectively with love, because one sees reality clearly and feels the inspiration in one's heart. So to those who want to follow Jesus and be free from domination, I suggest that you look at how you imagine you are following him and question whether it is truly loving. Are there remnants of a spirit of domination that need correcting before you can be a real creative solution? Is there any fear contaminating your beliefs? If so, you will need to change your attitude to wield the sword of truth with real power. Life loves all beings unconditionally. If you imagine that love ever punishes, think again. If you are wondering what this new evidence and perspective is, I will leave a link in the description to a video that will enlighten you. That is all for now. Thank you for your attention.